What's up, my beautiful people? We are here to talk about the energy of April, the month of April. It's going to be a very birthing kind of a month. Of course, we just came into Aries season, so Aries season represents the real new year, right? And as this represents the real new year, we're in this cardinal, let's go, let's get it done, let's make it happen, let's jump into this next phase kind of energy. And as we're in there, there's some themes that are going on, and we're still in this direct energy all the way until the 27th when Pluto goes retrograde. Now, Pluto is the furthest planet out in our solar system that we are consciously aware of, right? So this is really deep under, like subconscious stuff that when Pluto goes retrograde, we don't really consciously feel it. And when it starts to interact with other more personal energies, we may feel those in a different way. But I actually kind of like Pluto retrograde because it allows us time and effort and energy to process stuff from the past. And with all this forward moving momentum that we've had in this last couple of months, this energy is very, it's very like it's helping us process things much more efficiently. Okay. There's a lot of really good things this month to propel us forward into the place that we want to be. With that being said, it's going to have us look at and visit or revisit some things within us that we may have been avoiding, procrastinating on, not wanting to look at, and all those things. All right. We have Pluto. So the outer planets, these aspects, these energies, they're deeper, they're more subconscious, and they last longer. So they're sort of like a general theme. And then we go into the personal planets, which are more on the surface, more like in your face day to day. So I'm working on structuring this a little bit different so that we can go from the deep to the surface and understand it so that we can look at it and be ready to purge it out that way. Okay. Let's see, we have Saturn is going to be trining the North Node and sextiling the South Node pretty much the whole month. Also, of course, the beginning of the month, we start with Aries season, right? Then we move in on the Sun, 9, Mercury and Taurus, 23rd. Shit, I didn't write it down. Well, about right around the third week or so, we have the sun moving into Taurus, right? So when the sun moves into Taurus, that's going to bring a more, we're in this cardinal energy, and with this cardinal energy, it's going to move into a more, it's going to move into more deliberate, fixed energy again. Now, if you remember when we had the Aquarius fixed air energy, right, a few months back. That was when, we were working through the Saturnian kind of stuff. So all of these energies are sort of surrounded by the Saturn-Uranus square. So Saturn, of course, represents control, structure dynamics, the scaffolding of our consciousness, of our life. Uranus represents breaking free from the scaffolding, evolution, aha moments, epiphanies, waking up, activation, acceleration, things like that. So January, February, into March, we had more of the Saturnian bringing up the control dynamic, seeing the things that we're in control of, what we need to have control over, and all the different things that we need to change and modify and improve on and understand what we need to shift in that sense. And in Aquarius, because Uranus rules Aquarius. Now, Saturn is the ancient ruler of Aquarius, so these energies are kind of intertwined a little bit, but this is really reestablishing a whole new foundation in our consciousness. Right now, we go from that part of letting go and opening up to moving into April, solidifying with the Uranian energy, moving forward into this new leveling up, higher awareness, stepping into action, moving forward into this new energy. And we're going to feel it in our body, right? As things are moving through us, we're going to be feeling this deeper sense of growth, of evolution. And with this deeper sense of growth and evolution is going to come a lot of a fear of the unknown, because let's face it, we haven't been here before. But by this point, right, last year really gave us a taste of the unknown. So with last year, many people had massive like epiphanies, aha moments, wake up moments, like the awakening was big. This month is going to catapult another layer of that awakening process, because it is pulling us forward. Before it was tearing it down, now we're building it up. Make sense? All right. So Jupiter is going to be sextile the Sun, Venus, and Mercury for most of the month too, which is really, really beautiful. This aspect is absolutely, I mean, one of the, I'd say, top 5 aspects in astrology. And because it's going to be between Aquarius and Aries, this is really, I mean, fixed to cardinal, right? So this is like a Tony Robbins event. Seeing your own shit, be like, oh my God, yes, okay, let's do it, let's go, yeah. All right. So April is so March and April is sort of the time frame of this year where we are, like, March was the letting go of the old, surrendering, allowing things to break down and be just let go of. Then we start to rebuild and move into this new energy that we're going towards. So it's like almost like we're letting go and we're moving into it at the same time, but there's many layers to it, so it can be a little convoluted, a little bit confusing. Okay, with these layers, we just have to remember that the most important thing to do is to be in the present moment. All right. As we navigate these energies, we're also going to be having a new moon at 22 degrees of Aries and a full moon okay, so the new moon is on, where the hell did I put that? On the 11th of April at 22 degrees Aries. The full moon is on the 26th of April at 7 degrees Scorpio. So we've ended for the last, I think I would have to go back and look specifically, but I think it was 6 months straight of 23 degrees and 8 degrees. The 23 degree, was it new moons, and 8 degree full moons, or vice versa? Either way, there was a pattern for the last 6 months, right? Growth, abundance, change, growth, abundance, change, growth, abundance, change. Now, if you haven't seen a lot of growth, or if you haven't experienced a lot of abundance, then you've experienced a lot of change and a lot of disruption, a lot of tower moments, right? Because we have to purge out all the energies that keep us from being able to accept or being accessible to the abundance. We have to move through that energy first and get and process it, learn the lesson from it, get the aha moment, the epiphany, whatever it's trying to teach us. Okay. And this manifestation is happening so fast, so very fast. So, make sure you're allowing yourself to move through this energy as evenly and efficiently as possible. Be the conscious observer of your own mind and trust your intuition. Uranus is all about trusting the flow state. the more things that you can do to get in the flow state, the more ways that you can get activated into flow state, the better off that you're going to be, and the faster and better and more you're going to learn to trust your own judgment. All right. So do whatever you can to step into that flow state as often as possible and honor that fuck yes inside. If it's like, yeah, I want to do it, then you go and you do that, even if it scares you. But if it's like confusing or not sure or I don't know, or makes indecision or whatever, okay, it ain't for you. All right. GTFOH. Get the fuck out of here. I was thinking that in my head and trying to bring it to you in real time, but that was a little slow. My bad. You know what I'm saying, right? Okay. So on April 4th here, I'm going to bring up the chart here real quick. All right. April 1st. On April 4th, we have Mercury coming into Aries. Now, Mercury likes to be in Aries better than in Pisces because now it's decisive. Now, like our mind is more focused, but it can be impulsive. Okay, and of course Mercury is going to come and conjunct Chiron. Whenever anything is around Chiron, it gets vulnerable. You feel all the shit that you don't want to feel. Right, but we got to feel it. So just remember that we must embrace our vulnerability because ultimately our vulnerability is our power. That is the energy of Pluto. All right, we have to do this. We have to allow it to teach us and surrender to it. The more you allow yourself to surrender to the Pluto energy and to the Chiron energy, really honestly the easier life is. It's the resistance to that pain, that purification, because those energies are difficult. They're vibrations that we just don't want to feel, but and this is the age of Pisces, and it is falling off because we are discovering ways where we can actually bypass or circumvent these energies and actually raise our vibration quicker. However, we're still working on it, like things still have to come together, and it's not quite there just yet. We're still in the transitioning phase of discovering the technologies and having the access to parts of our brain and DNA that can actually do that. But you bet your ass that our DNA is being activated big time, especially over this next, from 2020 to 2030, we are going to see a massive shift in consciousness. I mean, you think shit's getting weird now, like extrasensory perception wise, like psychic gifts and, people like waking up and all this stuff. It's funny to me to see like out there in the outside world, like they're politicizing or politicizing like awareness, which is kind of ridiculous because this whole woke thing is now like apparently like a far left platform that is like progressive, like you ain't woke unless you accept all these new weird ideas. It's such a mind fuck. It's literally is propaganda and subconscious mental delivery systems that is just, it blows my mind how evil and dark that shit is. So be careful of what you put your consciousness into, because that all the main big stuff that looks all pretty and shiny and stuff, it's scary stuff, guys. Okay. We need to focus on going within and living our truth and creating and being in our own world, as opposed to feeding the external, that's all that South Node shit, right? Feeding all this outside validation, but letting the outside world tell us who we are, It's no bueno. And these energies this month especially is going to be bringing that shit up. Hey, this is who you are. This is who you are. This is who you are. And if you're confused, you're like, start to have an identity crisis. It's because you're paying too much attention to what other people or other influences outside of your energetic space is infiltrating your boundaries. And you have to learn how to establish stronger and better emotional boundaries. All right. On the 8th of April, we have Mercury conjunct Chiron. So when Mercury is conjunct Chiron, this is where we are literally getting messages, downloads, communicating with the deepest, most vulnerable parts of ourselves that we're ready and willing to face at this particular time. This is going to be a very this is sort of going to be like a secondary ripple effect, if you will, from the full moon in Libra when the sun and Venus were conjunct Chiron, opposed the full moon back in March. Okay. This is clearing out and purging out all these vulnerabilities and allowing us to seek deeper into really integrate the parts of our soul that have been fragmented, right? Many of us, especially if you're watching this, when you were growing up, you had experiences that fragmented your soul. The trauma, it made you dissociate, right? We all, sensitive people are empaths. Like we all had to do that when we were children in order to be able to just to function. And now as adults, it's so interesting to see how everybody running around, we have a whole generation now of these, of these redheaded stepchildren, these black sheep, right? I don't know why they call it a black sheep. Where the hell does that even come from? I'm a black lion, baby. But we are the ones that are shifting the belief systems and the structures and seeing the shit that they didn't see, right? So whenever any aspects like this come around Chiron, it's very, very important for us to really be gentle with ourselves and go within and acknowledge and identify what we want to feel, where we want to go, what we want to do, and why. Okay. And then, of course, on the 11th, we have the new moon, and I'm going to make a separate video on that. All right. But that's going to be, I mean, for me personally, like that new moon is literally 1 degree away from my ascendant. So talking about a rebirth, and astrologically speaking too, this is right on top of Eris, the fixed star Eris. So this is like bringing out a whole new level of desire to rebel, resist, and follow your true independent, pride and nurture this demanding gratitude for humanity, right? Because of the age of Aquarius, more and more people are stepping up, be like, hey, this shit ain't right. We need to fucking stand up, and we need to, help each other and love each other and take care of each other and make sure that we're not, feeding the machine, so to speak. No more feeding the machine. And then let's see, on the 16th, we have Mars trine Jupiter exact. So this energy is sort of like fluid because, Jupiter is an outer planet, slower moving planet. It's at 26 degrees here, exactly. And it just so happens that when they're going to be exact, the moon is going to be transiting over Mars. So this is going to make us, this is a incredibly auspicious energy. This is like, yo, it's fucking go time. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's bring it to the forefront. And Mars just finished, crossing over the North Node. So this is like, we get this big, like, get up and go. Like, what do you want to do? What do you feel driven? What do you feel almost like the universe is pushing you into something, right? What do you feel pulled towards? What do you feel drawn to? Listen to that. The universe is speaking to you right now. All right. On the 18th, the sun will conjunct Mercury. The 18th, yes, at 28 degrees of Aries. So, and this is basically at an anorectic degree. And this is big, guys. This is huge. You know, like Mercury and the Sun cazimi, you know, pretty often. And there's been a lot of conversations right now around the vulnerability, around, you know, this new beginning, around this blossoming. It's like where the collective consciousness is like a lotus flower that's blooming open from the darkness. All this shit has been spewed out. It had to be released. It had to be removed. It had to be let go of. And now we are all having to do the work in order to find our way. And the more people that do the work, the more the light will win, right? The more people that stuff it down, suppress it, and don't do the work and drink the Kool-Aid, well, that's not such a great news. And so this is all part of the spiritual warfare. And would you look at that? We actually have a double yod today. See the two quincunxes here? So let's see what we have. We have the moon in Cancer, which the moon rules Cancer, between Saturn and the South Node, sextile. So yeah, Saturn is going to be sextile in the South Node and trine the North Node, which is absolutely beautiful. This is an amazing energy for moving forward in our timeline. Like this is destiny, karmic things happening. Destiny is coming to us to break us free from the chains that bound us before. And we also have the moon sextile Uranus. Whoa, moon sextile Uranus, and it's in the South Node. So this is letting go of all the shit that is from the past, letting go of things that are outside of our control, letting go or detaching from the attachments that we had that were unhealthy, you know, in our emotional body. This is a very, very powerful day. Just, you know, and on the same day that the sun is conjunct Mercury, while the sun is basically at an anorectic degree, guys, this is big time. And Neptune is now at 22 degrees as well, and moving more towards into that third decan. This is, you know, our psychic capacity getting bumped up, guys. We are just being bombarded with this forward momentum, and we really have to put in the work and, you know, listen to our heart. Listening to our heart is so critically important right now. Now, Pluto and Mars here is still quincunx. This quincunx is probably going to last quite some time, probably about like the whole month. All right. So this is where like there's this deep penetrating like frustration or unnerving with this growth process, but it's forcing, it's pressurizing this stuff out of our consciousness that is being stubborn and doesn't want to move. Like, you just got to let it move. All right. And let's see, on the 19th, we have the sun and Mercury moving into Taurus together. So that's pretty significant. We've had a lot of conjunctions that have been moving from one side to the other, and that is literally mastering that energy and bringing it into the new one, evolving us as a collective. This is beautiful, guys. And, you know, all throughout all of this, you know, we have Saturn, you know, and Uranus maintaining around, you know, like a 3-4 degree orb. So of its square. So as the personal planets are coming forward towards the end of April, they're going to be conjuncting Uranus, as we see here now. So we come into, let's see, the 23rd, and we have Mars moving into Cancer. And we also have, right around the time Mars moving into Cancer, Venus is conjuncting Uranus. So I have Venus conjunct Uranus in my 8th house and my natal chart. Let me tell you, that can be a very explosive, weird experience with love. It can bring epiphanies. It can bring, you know, suddenly, you know, you meet the love of your life and you're like, holy shit, but then it triggers the fuck out of you and you're like, what the hell is going on? A lot of unexpected things can happen, even with your values and morals. You can decide, I no longer am willing to put up with this or deal with that or play with this or do that. And, you know, it's a lot of unexpected energy is related to how we receive. This is like, okay, I'm upping my standards. All right. At the same time that Mars is going into Cancer. Now, of course, Mars doesn't particularly love Cancer because Cancer is emotional. Mars wants to get shit done. And those don't vibe very well. So, going from Gemini to Cancer, the way that we go into things is going to be a little more emotional. But if we're emotionally intelligent and we are connected to our emotions, it shouldn't be that bad. Now the Uranus-Venus conjunction is going to be quincunx to the south node. So this is like, we got to let shit go. We really don't know what that is or what that means. So this could be quite a triggering time. All right. Just be prepared for that and allow it to move through you. All right. You've done the work. You know what you're doing. Just follow through with it. All right. 24th. We have, now we have Mercury. So you see this, like, so now all these personal planets, the sun is getting closer. Mercury and Venus are coming into Uranus. So there's a deeper level here because Venus and Mercury were conjuncting Saturn at the beginning of this Saturn-Uranus square, which was bringing awareness and identifying what we need to let go of as far as the control dynamics. All right, like what we need to see and understand and feel to unlock this next level. Now that's coming to Uranus, it's like, okay, now we're seeing where we need to open up. Now we are actually taking action into opening up, learning how to receive in a new way, learning how to communicate to ourselves in this new growth process. It's layering all these new energies on top. This is absolutely beautiful. All right. But growing pains, it can be a little bit painful, right? Like, I'm noticing big time, like, as I'm getting in better shape and as I'm like, getting back into training again, it's really pointing out the more detailed nuances of the injury that I have here. I've been doing so much work to try to get this tricep to start firing and start activate, and it is not really happening as fast or efficiently as I'd like to. And literally, like, my left arm is nice and full and getting big, and my right arm is like skinny and it's uneven. And it's very strange to me because I've always had a very deep like connection to my physical body, and there's a dramatic imbalance, and this right side's the divine masculine, right? It's literally started from coming from my heart out to how I put myself out there. So learning a lot of lessons from that. It's been very, very, very educational and very humbling too. It's like, it's a constant reminder, like, wow, man, I really gotta be more compassionate with myself. Like, sometimes just trying to force it to make it grow and pushing it, you need to love it. You need to relax it and surrender and allow it to open up, not try to keep pushing and forcing. And that's a metaphor for everything in life. The more, like, you catch more bees with honey, or something saying like that. You guys know what I'm saying, right? So anyways, then on the 26th, we have the full moon over here at 7 degrees Scorpio. It's not exact here on this chart, of course, but I want to give you the general idea. And we have a grand water trine. So being able to release emotions during this full moon is going to be very, very beneficial, very, very big. And I'm going to do a separate video on that as well, of course. Yeah, Venus is going to be conjunct Mercury and Black Moon Lilith too. We're going to be seeing a lot of our bad habits, a lot of our self-sabotaging ways. Maybe, our sexuality might be heightened a lot. We might be wanting to feel pleasure in our body. Black Moon Lilith, Venus, and Mercury all together in Taurus. That's all about what we want to feel like. We want to feel good physically. So just got to be careful for, going a little bit too far, like escapism, or, you don't want to just go, hook up with a random just because you want to feel good. Like, you want to do this in a very, connected and spiritual way. So just be mindful of that. Okay. Because this is going to be a very powerful full moon in Scorpio. I mean, Scorpio's deep. Scorpio's intense. Scorpio's mysterious and secretive and likes to just, it's the, that 80s song, I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep. You remember that song? Oh man, I know. Now you guys are going to have that song stuck in your head for like a week. I get it. You're welcome. Okay, so then right after, so basically right now too, we have Pluto that is stationed to go retrograde. It's going retrograde on the 27th, and it is sets a quadrate to the North Node. So there is some kind of, this Pluto energy is going to make us be feeling things very, very deeply. And Scorpio, of course, is ruled by Pluto. And with Black Moon Lilith, a lot of deep, vulnerable sexual energy. And this is going to bring up power dynamics. And there's some kind of lesson that we're going to have to learn here, like some kind of like past, like lesson from the past or past life, trauma, possibly, that we need to let go of or identify or feel or process in order to move into this next chapter. But, you know, we're going to do it because, you know, we all vibing and we all fucking hardcore. All right. So the 29th, of course, now we have Pluto retrograde. And the 29th, we have the Sun conjunct Uranus, conjunct Black Moon Lilith. That's going to be interesting. Whenever the Sun conjuncts Uranus, it's it's usually epiphanies, aha moments. Holy shit, you're going to feel it in your body. This is like where, like, you know, like, so we have the personal planets, Mercury and Venus conjunct Uranus. We've had Black Moon Lilith floating around there for the last year and a half, 2 years. And now the Sun's there with all this clearing and all this work we did, whatever level of work we've done. Now the Sun is coming up to Uranus saying, all right, give us our gift. All right. Because Uranus is a great awakener, right? All right. Let's see what the prize is. And we don't know what the prize is going to be. It's going to be unknown, but we are going to get something. This is the point where it's like the checkpoint where we are leveling up. And then we have to level up because next month in May, we come into eclipse season and retrograde season, right? So that's when shit's going to start getting all wonky and funky. But that is okay because that's just simply, you know, that's just simply part of the process. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. Please, if you know somebody that can benefit from this information, you know, have them subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have them follow me on social media. Instagram is spiritual_bodybuilder. If you would like to receive all the discounts on all my services, 30% off all my services, receive the daily energy reports, the 4-week transformational protocol, weekly Zoom meetings. You can either join them live or watch them recorded, all on my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. Go check it out. It's just $4.99 a month. All right. And, you know, whatever you want, whatever you like, let me know, message me. I'd love to work with you. Thank you so much. And I'll see all you beautiful people on the next report. All right. Aho.